where I think people need to understand. Just imagine you're running a household and you depend on a salary to be able to run your household, or even say you're running a business, a small business. Let's say you have a small business, but you require a certain amount of funds, whether from the bank you're borrowing it or however it is, to be able to finance your household and or your business. Same thing with a budget. The difference, of course, is that you're constrained by legal constraints. And one of the legal constraints is that you have to have passed the Appropriation Act. And the Appropriation Act is the act after the budget is presented to the Parliament. And so the government of the day sets out in prose and in mathematical terms what is continued. It has some projects that it has started. It gives a background of what has happened in the year gone by, because you don't have a crystal ball. So you give an account of, well, this is what you thought would have been the revenue at the end of nearly every budget, before they actually say what measures they're going to put in place, whether it's a tax relief or things that people may not want to hear. So we're giving those kinds of, maybe say, the not so nice news, and also the positive news, the sort of areas of the economy that you want to jumpstart. So those are the things that they will say at the end, what they're going to do. So you listen for that, the goodies or the not the goodies. Yeah. But before you reach to the goodies or not the goodies, he's got to say, just like how you run in your house, where the money coming from, but you're looking into in the future. So you're anticipating based on, we have an energy economy, and we still have an energy economy. Of course, the people who are in the two floors of the budget division, which are the technical people who keep the numbers running, who keep up to date with all the data and so on, but it's really the natural gas numbers. So you use that, they work it out, yes, and they let you see based on what the projection looks like. And the budget division is working year-round, looking at what IMF is saying, what the World Bank is saying, what is OPEC saying. You know, they're looking at changes. Just that is how you arrive at the revenue. Now, the expenditure has a lot to do with, just as I was saying, if you are running a household or running a business, there are going to be some standard allocations that are going to health, education, national security, maybe tourism or agriculture, so to get at the expenditure.
Yes.
And then based on minus or plus, if your revenue is, say, anticipated, let's say it's 50 billion, yes, based on the figures that they have worked out, and based on your expenditure, which is driven by what your strategic objectives are. Right. So there's so many things, but you want to reach a certain state. So once you've worked out what the revenue is based on budget division, that's their job and that's their technical people. Then the expenditure is going to be largely driven by the government and how the government's strategic plan and how it has tweaked it for the year. So then the government tells you what their expenditure is, and then you're going to find out whether you're going to end up with deficit, meaning you're going to end of the day have to borrow because you're not going to make enough revenue based on what you're seeing at that point in time, or based on what you're seeing at that point in time, you might end up with a balanced budget or positive position and actually have more revenue than expenditure.